lọ́wọ́ Aláàfin Ọ̀yọ́ àtijọ́ láàrin ọdún 1775 sí 1780 ní akọni Lísàbí Àgbòǹgbò Àkàlà léwájú wọn láti dáwọ́ sísan ìṣákọ́lẹ̀ fún Aláàfin dúró. Ìdí nìyí tí àwọn ọmọ Abẹ́òkúta ṣe ń pe ara wọn ní ọmọ Ẹ̀gbámọ Lísàbí Àgbòǹgbò Àkàlà. Ìlú Abẹ́òkúta jẹ́ ìlú àwọn ọ̀làjú àti aláfẹ́. Ọ̀pọ̀ àwọn òyìnbó aláwọ̀ funfun ló fi bẹ̀ ṣe ìlú, pàápàá lásìkò ìjọba amúnisìn. Ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì àkọ́kọ́ nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà ní St. Peters tó wà ní Aké. Ilé ìwòsàn àkọ́kọ́ nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà Sacred Heart Hospital ìlú Abẹ́òkúta ló wà. Aláké lorúkọ oyè ọba ìlú Ẹ̀gbá. Bẹ́ẹ̀ sì ni Òkè Olúmọ wà níbùdó tó tẹ́jú láti lè fi rí gbogbo ìlú Abẹ́òkúta ní orí òkè náà. Àwọn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n àti onímọ̀ púpọ̀ ló jẹ́ ọmọ bíbí ìlú Abẹ́òkúta. Àwọn bíi ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Wọlé Ṣóyínká, ọ̀jìnmí akọni obìnrin ní Fúnmiláyọ̀ Ransom Kuti àtọ̀pọ̀ àwọn míì. Iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ àti àdìrẹ níṣẹ́ tó gbayì nílùú Abẹ́òkúta. Ẹ̀gbámọ Lísàbí.
This iconic African presents the narrative of a man destined to exert an imperishable global influence in Western education. His was a story of a freeborn, captured and sold into slavery. He was born in Oshogun, a native Yoruba village near Iseyin in Okeogun axis of southwest Nigeria. Samuel Ajayi Crowther was the foundation student of Fora Bay College, Sierra Leone, the foremost university where the pioneer set of native Africans were educated. Samuel Ajayi Crowther's greatest contribution to humanity was his translation of the Holy Bible into the Yoruba language. The man who authored the Yoruba dictionary was also credited with the translation of English classic hymns into Yoruba and the Ekwere languages. Samuel Ajayi Crowther's private residence in Badagry, incidentally the first story building in Nigeria, is an Akaba museum dedicated to the memory of Africa's first bishop. Western Spring. Gbadamosi Adegoke Adelabu was a prominent figure in Ibadan politics and Western region before Nigeria's independence. He was a key founder of the National Council of Nigeria and the Cameroons, a political party that held lofty the torch of liberty for the two West African countries. He carved a niche for himself as a wordsmith and a creative speaker. The nickname Kwenkele was a natively corrupted version of peculiar mess, his bombastic English language style often used to score proceedings at the parliament. The author of Africa in Ebullition, a handbook of freedom for Nigerian nationalists, was Nigeria's Federal Minister of Natural Resources and Social Services between 1955 and 1956. He died in an auto crash on the 25th March 1958 at the age of 42. Western Spring Television identifies Adegoke Adelabu as a watershed character in history.
Western Spring Television. Ours it is.
Good morning. Welcome to the show Sports Spring on Western Spring Television, where we give you stories making headlines in the ever-busy world of sports. My name is Joseph ATEWEH saying good morning. I'll be doing this show alone this morning as my partner in NENGI ERNEST-ADEMOLA is far away from the States this morning. But then I'll be joining up with the media officer of Osun Babes very soon. We'll be doing analysis with us this morning. We'll be talking extensively on the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Yesterday evening, the news broke out that the Super Eagles of Nigeria will be playing Saudi Arabia's national team. That should be on the 13th of October in Portugal. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about Desire Pradoze retiring from the Super Falcons team and, of course, on club levels. All this and more we're talking about, and not forgetting Ashley Prompter. She has moved to Saudi Arabia to join Karim Benzema. That is what they said. But then don't forget Al Ittihad. That's the female team in that one. At this point, we'll try to connect with Seun Omolola as we talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria as they'll be taking on the national team of Saudi Arabia in Portugal. That should be on the 13th of October. Mixed reactions are poured in. Is this a mere formality? We've been craving for grade A friendlies. Do we have one at our hand against Saudi Arabia? Is that a team the Super Eagles should be playing against at the moment? We'll try to connect to Seun Omolola will be joining us, as I said, is the media officer of Osun. Seun Omolola joins me live on the show. Good morning, Seun.
Yeah, good morning, Joseph.
Yeah. Seun Omolola is the media officer of Osun Babes. Thanks for your time and thanks for honoring my invite.
Yeah, definitely. I'm very happy and elated to be part of the program this morning.
Thank you, Seun. Seun, we'll move straight to the business. And you are a fan of Nigerian football. As a matter of fact, you advocate for the positivity of everything that concerns Nigeria. Let's start with the Super Eagles of Nigeria. You heard the news yesterday that they'll be playing Saudi Arabia on the 13th of October, and that game will be played in Portugal. Now, mixed reactions, as I said earlier. Some are asking, is that a grade A friendly? Is that the kind of game the Super Eagles should be playing? Your reaction?
Yes, good morning, Joseph. It's a very nice one that we have a friendly game at our hand. Though the friendly match is not a grade A friendly match. Not what so many Nigerians are craving for. But as we speak right now, what we are preparing for is the African Cup of Nations, which will be holding next year. So any friendly match as we speak right now will be a fine-tuning friendly match for the Super Eagles. Not necessarily a grade A, a grade B, or a grade C friendly match. You know, when we played against Sao Tome and Principe, a lot of people clamored that we should have played a friendly game maybe on Monday or yesterday, Tuesday, at least to fine-tune the team. You understand? But we never played any. But now we have one on our hands against Saudi Arabia next month. So for me, it's a friendly game is a friendly game. Let's assume we are preparing for a World Cup. Definitely we'll have been trying to play the likes of Portugal, Brazil, Argentina, and the likes. But we are preparing for a Nations Cup tournament.
You are saying that it's more like putting these guys in shape, the coach having enough time to test other players and know what exactly 11 he wants to use when proper games comes up.
Definitely. That's what the coach is trying to do. You know, he just invited some new players into the team. Somebody like Gift Oban was just invited for our last game against Sao Tome and Principe, and a host of others as well. So playing is a Saudi Arabia that defeated Argentina at the last World Cup. It's a good friendly game.
So contrary to others' opinion that we should have done better, maybe play the likes of France, Brazil, and Portugal, as they said, you feel like Saudi Arabia will still give the Super Eagles of Nigeria a good test?
You know, contrary to their opinion, I want to take you down memory lane.
Please.
there was a time we played against this team, Argentina in Nigeria, and we defeated them blue-black. When we met at the competitive stage, we were defeated. So friendly matches are not meant for you to win or to play this or to play that, but for you to fine-tune your team, to see the kind of players you want to make use of at the tournament proper, to introduce some other new players into the frame of things, to see how they can fit in for it. So for me, I don't see anything wrong in playing against Saudi Arabia, since we are playing and preparing for the African Cup of Nations. Okay.
But I think I agree with your opinion there. I mean, I talked about the game between Nigeria and Saudi Arabia because, I mean, if you're on Twitter yesterday, you hear some of the comments made by stakeholders saying that they expected something better. But then you are a professional when it comes to talking Nigerian football. And of course, I want to agree with you. Now, away from the Super Eagles, Sheung, let's talk about Desire Okpanozie. Don't forget, you're the media officer for Show Babes. It means that when it comes to female football, your knowledge is key.
Yeah, definitely, my brother.
Desire calls it quits with the national team and all football-related matters.
Yes, when I got the news yesterday, it amazed me because I felt that Desire Okpanozie still has a lot to offer the female football in Nigeria. But she understands why she made that decision. And I was made to also realize that immediately she missed that penalty against the Lionesses of England at the just concluded Women's World Cup, she was not herself. She was feeling the pain and the guilt that she was part of those who eliminated Nigeria at the World Cup. So that, coupled with a lot of other issues, she felt, yes, at just 29, let me just retire, let me call it quit. But I don't see that as the best decision for her. And it's not the best decision for Nigeria as well.
And talking about, just to echo your words, sorry to cut you there. I mean, you talked about Desire Okpanozie retiring at 29. Nigerians have a problem there because if you talk about one of our most experienced players, you want to talk about Desire Okpanozie, and you spoke about the penalty she missed at the FIFA Women's World Cup. Do you think that is enough?
No, that's not enough. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
But you human beings, we differ. She felt that guilt. That, oh God, I never played any of the group stages games. I was introduced at the round of 16. I was to play the first penalty as an experienced player. And I missed. You understand? So she felt that burden on herself. But that wasn't enough for her to throw in the towel at age 29.
Definitely. And I agree with you because, I mean, look at some big stars. Bukayo Saka, it took him at least a year before he could recover from that penalty lost against Italy. And, you know, it cost him at club level too. It was almost dropped to the bench. And we wish Desire Okpanozie all the best. But then your most memorable moment about Desire, she retires at 29, for me to be the game against Cameroon, where she got the winner.
Yes, definitely. That was in the final. Yeah. She did very well. But you cannot take anything away from this young lady. She started her career with Nigeria at the Under-20 World Cup.
Definitely.
That was in 2020. And she was part of the Super Falcons squad that won the African Women's Cup of Nations in 2010, 2014, 2016, and 2018.
What a record.
Yes, and she also scored 22 goals in just 35 appearances for Nigeria.
35, that is huge, Sean.
Definitely. 22 in 35. She did well. For the country.
We wish her all the best. I'm sure that's the message from you and, of course, every sport lover out there. Sean, as I told you before the show started, I will take much of your time today. 20-25 minutes. You're still with us. Still talking female football here. Let's talk about Ashley Prompter. She has joined Al Ittihad. Now, there's this opinion that the Super Falcons, what they did at the World Cup, showcased a lot of them. Many of them are now wanted by big clubs. Do you agree first?
Yes, I agree with that. You know, when you perform well, it opens doors of opportunities.
Definitely.
I could remember in 1994, our last World Cup that we participated in, it opened doors for a lot of players to travel abroad. So our performance at this just concluded Women's World Cup definitely has opened doors, and we opened doors for many of our players, even players that didn't participate. Players that are playing in the Nigerian league, they will get offers from abroad because people will see them that, yes, Nigerians are good when it comes to female football.
And at the manner at which they exited the competition, no one thought the Super Falcons will push the Lionesses to the sport. They were just very unlucky not to have qualified.
Definitely, you are right. You know, we played them toe-to-toe. We played them man-to-man. And even we created more scoring chances than the England ladies. But we were just unfortunate. We stretched them into shootout. We couldn't still win at the shootout. So the manner at which we lost sent a signal to the world that no, these girls are wonderful girls. And that's why it's been difficult for the NFF to sack the coach of the Super Falcons. Because nobody expected that we will play that compact football that we play at the Just Play World Cup.
And to add to that, Seun, you also know that the Super Falcons coach that's won the World Cup had issues with the NFF out to the World Cup. They were waiting for him to fail.
Definitely. Even I want to tell you that a larger percentage of a section of of journalists in Nigeria wanted the World Cup to fail. You understand?
Definitely.
But to God be the glory, though we got knocked out at the round of 16, but the way the girls played, you cannot take anything away from that coach. He did very well with the squad.
All right, Seun. Seun, before we let you go, let's talk about the Nigeria Premier Football League. We can't let you go without talking about that. As a matter of fact, that is your forte, which means it is your strength. There's been this back and forth about the Nigeria Premier Football League. When are we starting? When is the kick starting? It's been postponed for 3 times. Nigerians have issues with that. They're saying a proper league should have a resumption date and a date where it will end. Are you surprised that this league has been postponed for the 3rd time?
I'm not surprised. What would have surprised me would have been that when they gave us the first date, if they had started on the first date given us, I would have been surprised.
Oh, you'd have been surprised if they...
Yes, if they had started on the first date they've given us, I would have been surprised.
Okay.
Because I know from the onset that they were going to postpone it once or twice.
But
so
why is that? Why do we have these issues reoccurring?
Yes, we have issues occurring because we lack proper organization. We don't prepare for things in Nigeria. Anything can be postponed in Nigeria. Even something that started, I could recollect some years back. The female football league was supposed to start. They started when they told us they were going to start. After playing 2 games, they placed it on hold again. That is Nigeria for you. You know when ex-international Austin Okocha came out to say that he preferred watching the English Premier League than the NW, than the NPFL.
Yeah.
People started coming out. They were throwing tantrums at him that why will he come out to say such? But that man knew what he was saying. Has he not been vindicated now? You gave us a time that we are going to start the league. You postponed it the first time. You postponed it the second time. Nobody will take such league seriously.
But Seun, to be fair on the organizers of the NPFL, you know how much it takes to run a league. You and I know. Would you say, in their defense, maybe they've not gotten enough sponsors? That is why they've been postponing, and they are not coming out clean to the media.
Thank you. That's the problem. If they have not gotten enough sponsors, they should have come out bold to tell us this is the real problem. Not telling us that because they want to have a meeting and there is an AGM, because of that, you are postponing the league. Who does that? Who does that, my brother? See, but the truth is, with Elegbele here at the end of affairs, we learned that they have gotten the financial breakthrough for the league. So they should not they should stop postponing the league so that many of us will take that league seriously.
Okay.
They are not doing us well. In the eyes of the world, they are not doing us well. In the eyes of Nigerians, they are not doing us well. We, the journalists, they are not doing us well.
Definitely.
You understand? So they need to buckle up. They need to sit up and see what they can do so that look at South Africa, my brother. Look at how many games they've played this season. Look at some other African countries.
And that is
we are saying that we are not getting it right as far as the Continental Championship is concerned. How are we going to get it right?
And that is why it's difficult for players from the local scene to also make it to the national team.
Definitely. That's one of the problems we're having. Look at Enyimba. They won the league. They got knocked out from the Champions League. They will be playing as far as the Confederations Cup is concerned. Look at Fairmont Stars, the same thing. So what are we talking about? It's because we are not starting our league when others have started their league.
And again, maybe no adequate preparation for these things.
That is it. That is just the preparation is poor. And you know, there is one adage that says proper preparation prevents poor performance. If you fail to prepare, then you prepare to fail.
And Sean, before we leave the NPFL, and since it's your forte, would you agree with me? Because I say this all the time, that the government should hands off football. I remember Osun United, for example, it was once Prime FC, which was being controlled by the local government. And at the point they were in the Premier League, you recall at some point, Odion Judy Gallo played for Osun United. But since the Osun State government took over, it's been a disaster, with all due respect to them. So would you agree that government hands off football?
Yes, I will agree, but not 100%.
Okay.
It should be private-public ownership. If you have a private-public ownership, it will assist so many of these things. Okay, let's even digress a bit from sports or football. Look at all government-owned facilities. How are they being managed? Because they feel it's not my own. I can do anyhow. Joseph Atewe, I know you too well. You are up and doing. You are a diligent man. If you are working with a state broadcasting corporation, you might be lackadaisical. You understand? But working with a private-owned station will put you on your toes because the owner will not want any lackadaisical attitude. So that is the same thing with sports and football as far as we are. So if government can answer all this, definitely it's going to be good for us, for all of us. Definitely.
Sean, let's do this in the next 3-4 minutes before I let you go. We are done and dusted. We know the countries that will be competing at the African Cup of Nations. What are your expectations? I saw some of the fans of Osun United who are affiliated to the Nigerian Football Federation. We saw them in Egypt. We saw them in Cameroon. And, of course, we'll definitely be in Ivory Coast, God willing, on the 4th of January. What are your expectations? And hopefully you join us there.
Yeah, sure. By God's grace, I want to be a part of the party as well.
Okay, but let's talk about what to expect at the African Cup of Nations. Yeah.
You said?
Let's talk about what to expect. Your expectations quickly.
Yes, my expectations are that as we speak right now, we have one of the most valuable teams as far as African football is concerned. We have a lot of great players. I want to say that this might even be our second golden generation. 1994 was our best team, that we paraded our best team. But now we have a team that can match up with the 1994 team.
That can beat any team in Africa.
You said?
That can beat any team in Africa.
Definitely, even in the world. We have Osimhen of this world. We have Taiwo Awoniyi of this world. We have a lot of players doing well for their club side. So we just need the synergy as far as the Super Eagles is concerned. So what I'm expecting at the next Nations Cup is nothing other than bringing home the trophy.
Nothing short of the trophy, Sean.
I'm telling you, the trophy will won last in 2013. So it's high time, 10 years is enough for us to have prepared and win another one.
And we were on course in 2019, got to the semi-finals. Riyad Mahrez late penalty. That game, I can't forget, and knocked us out. In 2021, we were very poor against the Tunisians. And why I'm saying this is that it all bows down to the coach. I think Eguavon made a mistake. He had just one style of play, and the Tunisians capitalized on that.
you know, as a coach, you must be able to diversify. You must be able to bring in plan A, plan B, plan C, and even plan D.
Definitely.
If one doesn't work, you switch to another one. Sure. If that one doesn't work, switch to another one. If you have just a plan, definitely teams will watch your clips and they'll be able to hold you. So that was the mistake of Austin Iguavon that 2 years ago. Okay. But this time around, I think we have a tactically sound coach. Though not all Nigerians love him, but the man is doing well. So let's see how he goes about his business in bringing home the trophy for Nigerians. All
right, Seun, I wish you all the best. All road leads to Ivory Coast 2024. And my brother, hopefully, we should have a party in Abidjan.
Definitely, my brother.
All right, Seun Omolola is the media officer of Osun Babes. Thank you for your time, Seun. And I honestly appreciate this time. Thank you so much. All right, you've been listening to Seun Omolola, the media officer of Osun Babes. And of course, you've been watching Sports Spring on Western Spring Television. We need to go on the break here and give you highlights from, maybe not highlights, some of the best goals scored in the Premier League. When we come back, we'll give you more stories making headlines in the world of sport. One player, Marco Verratti, has led Paris Saint-Germain after almost a decade. We'll be back.